The history of Monkeygrinder is less of a behind-the-music special and more of a multi-volume legal deposition written in disappearing ink. Depending on which founding member you ask, and there have been 14, the band was formed either in a decommissioned lighthouse in 1974 or during a shared fever dream in a dentist's waiting room in 1981. The genesis of the silent era, 1975 to 1979. The band's primary architect, Thaddeus "The Thrum" Vane, was a classically trained triangle player who became disillusioned with the excessive noise of the Philharmonic. He recruited Barnaby St. Frost, a man who didn't play an instrument but possessed a vast collection of antique bird calls. Their debut performance at the Leaking Tap pub in London lasted precisely 4 seconds. Thaddeus struck a single chord on a guitar made of driftwood, Barnaby mimicked a great bittern, and the duo immediately announced a 3-year hiatus to digest the vibrations.
Down the street, got his hands in his pockets and no shoes on his feet. Gonna run away from home to a better life. Leave the dusty ruins of a faded dream behind. Come join the circus with me. Lay your shackled hopes aside and we'll live free. World for the taking, so squirrel away.
The Calyptos incident and the rise of synth alchemy.
Join the ragged, traveling.
By 1982, the band had expanded to a quintet, adding a rogue mathematician named Dr. Aris Throt on calculated percussion. During this era, they recorded their seminal double album, The Geometry of Grief. The recording process was notoriously derailed when Throt insisted the drums be tuned to the frequency of a dying star. This led to the Great Eviction. The band was banned from every studio in Soho after accidentally shattering all the glassware in a 3-block radius during a bass test. The Vocal Less Tour. Lead singer Saffron Skies forgot how to speak for 6 months, leading the band to perform exclusively in Morse code using high-powered flashlights. And the Invisible Years, 1990 to 2004. Following a dispute over the ownership of a specific shade of purple, the band split into 3 competing factions. The original Hyphen consisted only of the roadies, Hyphen Prime, Thaddeus Vane's solo project where he played the cello underwater, and The Real Velvet, a tribute band made up of the original members' ex-spouses. Ironically, this was their most commercially successful period, as a clerical error at a major streaming service attributed the sounds of a malfunctioning industrial air conditioner to Monkeygrinder. The song went platinum in Scandinavia. A rebirth, the Tinfoil Residency, 2015 to 2023. In a move that baffled critics, the surviving members reunited in 2015 for a residency at a subterranean laundromat in Berlin. They swore off traditional instruments, opting instead for interpretive friction.
We realized that the strings were just cages for the notes.
Thaddeus famously told Rolling Stone while wearing a suit made entirely of polarized film.
Now, we just rub various household objects against the microphones until the audience feels uneasy.
Current status and legal limbo. As of 2026, Monkeygrinder is technically a sovereign nation. After a bizarre loophole in maritime law was discovered during a performance on a cruise ship, the band claimed artistic diplomatic immunity. Their latest album, Redacted, is currently unreleased because it can only be heard by dogs. However, their influence remains undeniable, mostly because they still owe several $1 million in unpaid tab fees to every seal clubbing-themed pub in Western Europe. 1982. Protractor Dreams, 12-inch vinyl, pressed on recycled X-ray film. Notable discography, selected. 1988. Silence is the New Loud. Cassette. The tape was blank. Fans claimed it was deep. 2009. Legal fees. Digital. A 40-minute recording of their lawyers sighing. 2025. The final hum, neural link, only accessible via a specific brand of smart toaster, which sadly never made it past prototyping due to spontaneous combustion problems the company was never able to figure out before going bankrupt. However, not before considering the band's offer to shelter the company's finances in Thaddeus's personally held offshore accounts, diversified entirely in sardine stocks for a Japanese anchovy fishing outfit, which, not surprisingly, did not exist.
Send in the clouds.
The band has not been seen or heard from since, despite several live performances being scheduled and heavily publicized during that time, only for the band, and coincidentally, any fans, not to show up for the actual concert. Coincidentally, the band is scheduled for a rather prestigious event at the moment, being held in American Fork, Utah. Considered the Coachella of the state, the so-called Fork Fest claims on their website to have booked Monkeygrinder to headline their opening night on June 12, 2026.
Clouds.
Experts with the FBI, the Kremlin, the American Socialist White People's Party, and a hippo racing bookie called Not So Babyface Lenny all agree that it is highly unlikely the band will actually show. However, 30 other bands, including the likes of The Neon Trees, Book on Tapeworm, Joshua James, Fictionist, Parlor Hawk, J. William Henderson, The Penny Candies, and many more, plus vendors and great festival atmosphere for live music lovers, make tickets at forkfest.org well worth the price, especially when you use Carney code MONKEY at checkout, which surprisingly actually works.
Days running, screams cut through the air like a knife. My last night in this damn circus dancing around, bloody top hat crushed on the ground. Step right up and witness your old, big and small. Big top, 12 watchers. This circus carnival. Don't cry for him. Don't make a sound. Don't run to the master. Dead on the ground. Just step right up to home. See the show. Big top, full of wonders, and the elephant last waltz.